Hello. Welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. We're going to get kind of back into the swing of things as far as like zodiac readings and human design profile readings. What is today? Oh, February is next week. So I am late. Am I? Whatever. So anyway, because I didn't really want to like decide myself, we're going to let something else decide. So I have all of the zodiacs and all of the profile numbers in here. Okay. Let's see. Scorpio, you're first. All right, so we have an oracle deck here, just kind of pull like an overall energy, and then of course the tarot. I have like obviously a little bit different of a setup here, so we'll also see how that goes. I hope that there's not like a ton of shaking with the camera, trial and error, you know, a lot of error. A lot of trial. We'll get it figured out. So what is the overall energy for Scorpio? I mean, I'm going to put this as February, but for whatever reason, like I kind of get this feeling that it's not necessarily strictly for February. Self-reflection. Wow. Going within. This also, it's number 17, which simplifies down to an 8. Scorpio rules over the 8th house in astrology. If words would come to me a bit quicker, that would be helpful. I love, there's a couple things here. I love how there's these two images. I mean, is this a mirror or is it like a portal? Also, even to the water representation, you guys are a water sign. So you could just kind of be in this energy of either really being in your feelings or really diving deep into where those feelings come from. We have the Empress, which is expansion. It's Taurus or Libra because it represents Venus. So there could be a Taurus or and one more card. Okay. Oof. Okay. Okay. Everything should be in view. I mean, this does have like a little bit of a heavier type of like vibe to it, but also it's like practical. There's a purpose to all of this, which is clearly this Fool card to me. I mean, obviously, we'll go through everything, but it's also like, Scorpio is built for this, though. It's not like, Scorpio kind of deals with the underworld, right? The opposite of you guys is Taurus, which is, the physical 3D. Okay, so like I was saying with the self-reflection card, it's almost like, peeling back the layers. There could be siblings involved. I mean, are these the same people? Are they twins? I mean, I think, it would also depend on your situation. They're standing on top of a book here. So this just has this quality of a real deep dive into, I mean, obviously self-reflection. It's like, how did I become the person that I am today? Like, how did my ego develop into what it is today? You could be doing a lot of research, a lot of reading, just about like the psyche, about the subconscious, about inner child, lots of decisions about how you want to even present yourself going forward. And we have the Empress here as the first card. And like I said, Empress is about expansion, abundance, nurturing. And then, we have the Tower underneath, and the Tower talks about things coming crashing down. It's not necessarily like the most comfortable energy to be in, because it could even just be like, you're seeing things just fall off from your vicinity. I mean, that could be relationships. It could be, and of course, relationship can be anything from platonic to romantic, business. It could be, timelines collapsing. And what that kind of means to me when I hear somebody say, collapsing timelines, there are just things in our past that maybe were just kind of left either open-ended, just not resolved. And there are a lot of things that just don't have a resolution. There is no closure. Like the fact that it ended, that's it. Like we're just supposed to accept that that's all the closure that we need. And most times, sometimes, we want more. We want why. We want an explanation. We want to understand better. But, when there are timelines collapsing because we're going through healing and all of that it's literally, that's just what's happening. It doesn't matter anymore, the reason or the why. It's that, there's that saying, the hardest apology to accept is the one that you'll never get. It's that type of stuff. It's understanding that we're really making the decision that you're no longer going to allow those experiences to dictate what you do going forward. So with these two together, this to me just says that you might even just feel like one completely open wound right now, totally vulnerable, very much in your feels, maybe a bit more sensitive than normal because this is happening. It's like, this whole taking inventory of who you are, how you got here, what's going on. And then we have the Eight of Cups next to that, which is making a decision to walk away from something. Cups, water. But we have this figure here, and, we can see that there's nothing here. There might be something in this one cup, which would signify the Ace of Cups. But these are clearly turned over. There's only crumbs left on this plate. That cup is spilled over. It's like recognizing that whatever was in these 7 cups, let me see, 3, 5, 6, 7. They weren't fulfilling. They weren't meeting your needs. That could be what the Tower is taking out. Now, this figure, it's not like they're reaching for this Ace of Cups here or anything like that. Like I said, there could be something in there, could not. Are you a bit hesitant to try it? Because how long has it been sitting there? Do you trust what's in there? Do you want to try it? Like risk it? Maybe. But the Eight of Cups, again, it's making this decision to emotionally move on. And what you're moving towards is the Nine of Cups, which is wish fulfillment, purpose, your needs being met. So it's leaving, all of this behind. because you know that there's something better. And then it's paired here with the Hanged Man. This could be an energy that either you've been in for a while or you may be in for a while. And maybe that's why at the beginning of the reading, I was saying that, I was getting this feeling that this might not just be for February, because this takes time. Even if you have been in, like this energy for a while, it takes time to allow feelings to come up, decide if they're yours or not, decide if you want to bring them forward with you or not. And either way, you have to reconcile those feelings and let them go. I mean, it takes time, which sucks. I remember, let me see, what year? This is 2023 now. I cannot do math in my head. What is my problem? So it's been about 6 years that I've been on my deconditioning, super duper healing, journey. And let me tell you, 6 years ago, I remember somebody telling me that it's going to take 3 to 5 years to get, reacclimated, recalibrated, because, there's a lot of heavy stuff to get through. And I was so mad because I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be this age by the time I get to that point. No, that's wrong. No, that is absolutely correct. I swear, somewhere around somewhere between 4 and 5 years is when it was just all of this huge paradigm shift. But you have to start somewhere. And it's kind of like you want to do this. That's the thing. This isn't necessarily, none of this is telling me that it's being forced on you. This is telling me that you're doing this for yourself. And honestly, I mean, it's the best thing that you could ever do for yourself. All of that, though, was to say, the Hanged Man is delay, it's suspension, it's forced, maybe outside of your control, because the purpose of it is to see things from a different perspective. I mean, look at this figure here. I mean, we're just kind of assuming that there's somebody in there because of the outline. But I mean, they are strapped and they're not getting out. I mean, sure, they could probably release their hand somehow, but they're not getting out. This is very cocoony also. So, the whole butterfly thing about, turning to goo, metamorphizing, that word, so that, you can come out this beautiful butterfly. There's also this element of surrender with the Hanged Man, because sure, you can fight against it, but it's you're only going to prolong things if you do. Also, there's all of these runes around here and these symbols, you're very protected. This is a very protected time. We have the 10 of Pentacles over here, and Pentacles again, right, with Earth having to do with the physical 3D. It has to do with our money, our time, resources. Did I say our body, our physical form? And specifically the 10 talks about legacy and family and making sure that your needs are met as well as your family or even just your community. And of course, family can be chosen, it could be biological, but there's kind of a similarity between those two cards because, it's abundant. They don't want for anything. Their whole basket is full here. There's bags of coins, there's an evil eye there. So again, that protection thing. We have an evil eye here that could have some sort of meaning for you. You could be deconditioning a lot of stuff from your community or from your family. You could be at this point where you want to leave a legacy, not necessarily for your family. I mean, if you don't have kids, if you don't want them, if you're not in relationship, if you don't want to be, it's not that. And that's why, I always try to make it a point to say, it's family can be chosen. It could be your community. It could even just be wanting to share your experience with a community. And then, we have this Seven of Swords down here, which is interesting. Because generally the Seven of Swords talks about betrayal, manipulation. It's a bit lower vibe. But technically, that comes from a place of, the figure traditionally in the tarot. They go and steal all of these swords from their quote unquote enemy so that when they go into battle, the enemy doesn't have the proper tools to fight. So yeah, I guess they're stealing. It is theft. It also talks about risk, taking a risk. I mean, how much of a risk is it to walk into a den of wolves and take a bunch of swords, or even escape? There's one sword here on the ground, which is the Ace of Swords, which is a sword of truth. But I always see the Seven of Swords as being the card of us fooling ourselves. Swords have to do with our mind, our thoughts, our perceptions, how we perceive our realities. It's our ego also, because that's generally where we hear our ego, is in our minds. So it's like those self-sabotaging thoughts. It's those shame stories that come up and tell us we don't deserve, we're not good enough, blah, 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 whatever it is. This could just be something that you are afraid to do, or just based off of your experience, the thought of community or the thought of family could have you basically running for the hills, So it's definitely something to just kind of look out for when you come out of this cocoon. And maybe what is going to bring you out of this cocoon is community, family. I mean, it could be a job, it could be health. Like I said, it's your physical body. And with it paired with the Seven of Swords, like I said, maybe it's just something to be aware of down the road when you even start interacting with people around this whole thing. Not to be paranoid or anything like that, but just to be aware, just really check in with yourself and see how it feels. But like I said, if it's you saying, I don't have a leg to stand on here. People don't want to hear my story, or there's situations that are worse, for people, whatever it is. Just like I said, something to look out for. And then we have the Fool at the bottom of the deck. And the Fool is a brand new start. It's a leap of faith, again with the surrender thing. And in this depiction of the Fool, there's no stopping them, right? Even if this person put their foot back on the ground here, they would still fall forward. Because it's the momentum is already carrying them forward. So there is going to be, some sort of new start here for you. We have the Hermit behind there, which talks about, again, introspection, self-reflection. This is going off on your own path also, which is exactly what the Fool is going to do. So when you get through all of this, and don't rush it, And really more so, I'm getting this feeling of allowing yourself to choose differently. That could even just be what the Fool card is. Because there are actions that we've taken in the past, right, that have worked out for us in the past, which is great. But if we're looking for the same result that we've gotten in the past, sure, maybe, but maybe do that again. But also, be sure that you're really reflecting on, where did those decisions get me though? Where was I scrambling? Was I making that decision out of fear? Or was I really checking in with myself and really making decisions from my own intuition and what I see as being my path? We have the Three of Wands, which is choosing a direction. It could be information coming in, also communication. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Bye.